Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and I just got finished reading Hadrian's Wall, issue number 1 by Image Comics. This is a very, very smart book. This book's not joking around. Now, I grabbed the book because, first off, it's a sci-fi book in the future, 2085. Very cool. It goes back to the idea that there was a nuclear war and New York and Moscow had both been hit. But then they wound up working together and they started doing space exploration together as opposed to a space race. They kind of joined the race together, and good stuff. I guess after you're going to blow up two key cities in the world, yeah, why not try and join up, right? I also picked it up because it's called Hadrian's Wall. Now, anybody who's a fan of Roman, not mythology, but history, Hadrian's Wall was that little tiny wall that was mostly just there symbolically, not quite like the Wall of China, to say, this is where Rome ends. On this side is barbarian country, so, lawless, do what you want, but Rome has expanded as big as it wants to expand. We can't harass anybody else in this area, so go. We're not taking care of you if you're on this side of the wall. Hadrian's Wall is basically the borders of Rome. I thought that was pretty cool. The name of the space station that's in Theta, someplace out in the void, is called Hadrian's Wall. That's the name of this ship. And there are only a few people on the ship. Well, apparently this guy, Edward Madigan, is out doing a spacewalk in EVA, and he winds up dead. There's a little tink in his spacesuit, the visor, and it gets bigger. He was apparently unconscious beforehand, and he wakes up and and the last word he says before it explodes, and then the oxygen and the saliva in his mouth catches on fire, basically. Well, not an actual fire, can't have fire in space, but burns the way that it did, and he dies. He says Annabelle. And you're thinking, is this his love? Is this the person who killed him? What's going on? And sure enough, this does turn into a murder mystery. This guy, Simon, is hired to go into space and try and figure out this murder mystery. Now, Simon is an interesting character. Apparently, he got shot 4 times in the chest. Apparently, to go and visit his ex, restraining order, I guess. I don't really know exactly how this works, but the way that it kind of seems to be playing off is that he is a really smart guy. He's kind of old school. He pays with cash instead of credits, and even the local old guy at the pharmacy doesn't understand basic math. It's all done on credit chips, and everybody's bugged by this. Whatever, deal with it, right? But he's a smart guy who's on painkillers, apparently for the bullet wounds. And yeah, that's basically him. He's got it together. His place is clean, which is a very interesting part, because his friend shows up from high school and says, "Hey man, what's going on?" And he's the one who wants to hire him to go off with him to Theta, to Hadrian's Wall, to try and figure out the cause of death. Well, he turns it down initially because he isn't in the mood. He'd rather just live off of his retirement or his lawsuit, whatever it is that's happening, that he's getting money in from the taxpayers to pay for his painkiller addiction and to just live and be who he is. Well, his buddy comes and tells him he's going to be given $100,000 if he is willing to go and do this. He's like, dude, just go up there, write off cause of death, and just come on back. And bang, that's how much it pays. Done. Come on. Like I said, he says no, but then he gets a call from his ex, Annabelle. She says, please don't come out here. And she's kind of rude. Well, it turns out that not only is Annabelle Simon's ex-wife, but also Edward's ex-wife, who just died in space. Yeah, and Edward was the guy who shot Simon 4 times in the chest. Interesting little event playing out there. He goes out there and he decides that this is probably some kind of murder based on his investigations. Now, towards the very end of this comic, I was a little bit confused, but it plays out that someone breaks into his place and he's got 4 bottles of his painkillers that he's, again, addicted to. and flushes them into space. So someone doesn't want him there, and there aren't a lot of people on the ship. But this seems to have been happening at the exact same moment that he's in talking to his ex, who seems the most to not want him there. So, who dumped his pills? As I said in the beginning of this video, this is a very intelligent book. I like the way they played everything, the language that they use, everything. You're going to enjoy it if you like an intellectual kind of thriller. Plus, it's sci-fi, it's futuristic, but not too far in the future. You see that people still use umbrellas and the like, but there are also still flying cars, so it's not too far into the future, but far enough that it's recognizable as different. Anyway, Comic Book University is going to give this book a solid B. I'm really looking forward to the next episode because this is looking good. So, guys, Professor Bill, class dismissed.